Thanks for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the gadgets niche. Created in November 2014, this business makes $3,667 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40608. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Julia.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you as well. Before we dive into the questions, just to give our listeners out there a quick summary of the business. As mentioned, it was built in November 2014. The monthly revenue is $9,027, with expenses sitting at $5,349, which of course leaves that net profit of $3,667, and that is over a 12-month average. With the sale also comes obviously the Amazon listings, transfer of inventory, and a transfer of a Shopify store. So Julia, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Have you ran others before, or is this kind of your first dip into the water?
So yeah, actually it is my first online business. However, I've always had this business bug inside of me. I come from a background of running a retail brick and mortar business. And of course, that is totally different than running an online business. I have always wanted to do something online. And this is sort of my first venture that I took on back in November of 2014, and things kind of took off from there.
That's awesome. How did you come up with the idea to start this business in particular without, giving away niche specifics?
So I actually went through the course about the Amazon FBA business, and I started listening to different podcasts, and that's kind of how it came about. I took the action steps, implemented what was being taught, basically.
That's great. So you actually learned most of your skill sets from informational course. Was that like The Amazing Seller by chance, or do you remember the course name?
I'd rather not disclose, although I did sign up for their course, but I didn't actually end up going through it all the way.
Well, it sounds like you didn't need it anyways. Then your business seems to be running a pretty healthy profit. For people that are brand new to online business and Amazon FBA, could you just briefly describe how this business is making money?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty passive. Once you create your listings and you submit the product for sale, the next thing to do is to get the inventory into the Amazon's warehouse and kind of keep an eye on making sure that, you don't run out of stock, because obviously that would be losing sales every day. So basically communicating with suppliers, making sure that we have enough inventory in stock, and just daily activities are very limited. I would say I spend 10 minutes or less just checking on my Amazon account, taking a look at the listings, the BSRs, and advertising campaigns that we run on Amazon.
Very cool. And we'll get more into that here in a second, but before we do, why are you selling the business? You mentioned it's pretty passive. Why not keep it and keep growing it?
Yeah, so I actually have another project that I'm trying to get off the ground at the moment, and I also work full time. So, in my opinion, if I can handle this, then anybody can handle it. But the fact that I have another project that I'm trying to put my focus on, I find it very difficult to concentrate on two things at once, and I would rather devote 100% of my time to the new project.
That makes total sense. Do you have any ideas with the money that you're going to get from the sale? Are you going to reinvest it into this new project, or maybe take a nice vacation away from the Chicago winters?
Yeah, some of it absolutely will go towards the new project. Probably not all of it. I will probably treat myself to something special. Not sure what yet.
Very cool. As far as the business history goes, what was the trajectory of the business for the first few weeks and months? Did you find that you were getting customers rolling in right away once it went live on Amazon, or did it take a while to kind of build up that traction?
So actually, the first product was not a success for me. It didn't go very well, but I didn't give up. I went back to the drawing board and I started to research for other products. And I launched my second product, and pretty much the sales took off from there.
Oh, that's awesome. So you actually had a bump in the road. Is there anything you learned from that bump in the road, or anything you learned from this business in particular that you might be applying to your future project?
Not the future project because that's something different and it's not with Amazon. But there have definitely been bumps in the road and it's been a learning curve of what to do and what not to do. Definitely one of the things I would say is don't go after super, super competitive niches on Amazon because it is so difficult to rank and to just keep your head above the water and to even find your listing on Amazon. So definitely go for lower competition niches.
That makes total sense. There's that old saying, the riches are in the niches, right? Especially the low competition niches. What did you try
Yeah.
with this business that didn't work? I'm assuming your first product must have been in a pretty competitive space. Or is there any other bumps that you might be able to share, pass some wisdom on to a potential buyer?
Yeah, so that was the reason. It was one of those very, very competitive niches that nobody had told me about that I shouldn't go after. And I ended up investing quite a bit of money in my first inventory order. To be honest with you, some of it is still sitting in my basement. So definitely that was a learning lesson. And I think we all need those just to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And it's kind of one of those things that you learn as you go along.
That's fantastic. You kept going. Most people, when they buy a ton of product, ship it, especially to their own home, and they can't sell it, that's kind of like they're about to wave the white flag, like this doesn't work, this sucks, stupid. But you kept going on, and you created a successful business. It's awesome, and don't feel too bad about having a product in your basement. My sister, she actually has quite a lot of boxes of yoga pants from her own business. As far as traffic and earnings go, could you break down where the traffic is coming from? Is it mainly all organic? You mentioned that you were doing some paid campaigns as well. Where are your buyers coming from?
So, yeah, most of it is Amazon customers. We do Amazon sponsored ad campaigns for all of our products. And if they are profitable and they are generating sales, we pretty much leave them going. We don't take them down even after the sales pick up. But yeah, that's pretty much the only source of revenue at this time, and definitely an opportunity for the new owner to come in and expand that with social media, SEO, and all the other channels that are out there.
For sure, that's awesome. Could you break down the earning type? You mentioned you have several different products with this business. Do you find one product is earning the lion's share of that, or is it pretty evenly distributed?
So yeah, there are definitely a few key products that are generating the most of revenue. As you may know, Amazon is evolving marketplace. So, the things that were selling 6 months ago might have fizzled out and they're not selling as great anymore. So it's always like introducing new products, doing research on what's selling and what's hot, especially in the tech and gadget area.
I see. Do you find that with the fizzling out and the evolving marketplace, do you find that your business is pretty stable with its earnings, or do you think it fluctuates quite a lot?
No, as you can see on the P&L, the numbers have been pretty stable for the last 12 months. Definitely the holiday season and the fourth quarter is, it's a home run, and we still have that ahead of us in just a couple of months. And actually, I was a little hesitant of selling the business because of the fourth quarter, because that's really the highest revenue. And with the new owner coming in and stepping in at this time of the year, they have a great opportunity right in front of them.
Yeah, I think selling right before the high season is actually a pretty smart idea because it does attract someone who can come in and kind of recoup their costs quicker with coming in on the high season. Speaking of opportunities, let's pretend that you wanted to keep this business and you wanted to grow it, what would you do that you would consider as the least risky path to grow this business?
So the first thing I would do, which I have not done, is expand to the international marketplaces on Amazon, such as Europe, Germany, Japan, Canada. Those would be the first, even just introducing the current products that we offer on the Amazon US marketplace, introducing them in those countries alone, I would think increase the revenue substantially. So that would be the first thing that I would do. Second thing, I would try and drive the traffic outside of Amazon, of a social media, SEO. A third thing I would do, I would put more focus on our Shopify store and creating another channel outside of Amazon.
Now, what would you do if you were incredibly risky and you just wanted to grow the site as quickly as possible?
Just invest in more products and more inventory and expand the product line, which would require much more capital, of course.
Interesting. To put your products in Germany, on other countries, does that require you to have inventory in warehouses over there, or is it all still taken from one like central kind of warehouse?
So yes, you would be required to ship those products to those countries, and that could be arranged simply by having the suppliers, which most of them are in China right now, having them ship those goods directly to those warehouses in those countries.
Very cool.
It's something I have not done as of yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard of very often, but it makes total sense. I mean, if you have an Amazon affiliate site, just by putting your localized plugin in that redirects people to Amazon sites in other countries, in their home country, it gives you a big boost in income, or often a pretty significant boost. So that would make sense. I like that. That's a cool thing I haven't heard of in a while. As far as risks go, what do you think the biggest risk is with this business that buyers should be aware of?
I think the competition. Competition is very fierce on the U.S. marketplace on Amazon right now, and there's constantly, as you may know, there are many courses out there that teach you about how to run and build Amazon business, but they don't teach you about all the ups and downs and all the mistakes that you're going to go through to get there. So I've been doing this close to 2 years, and, it wasn't just a straight line going up. It was, it was peaks and it was valleys, and those are the things you do not learn and know, and nobody teaches you that. It's something you have to go through, and you have to learn it for yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's just some stuff that info products, courses just can't replace real life experience. And as far as the entrepreneurial ride goes, I've always compared it to like the elevator buttons. You don't know which buttons lead to which floor. So you might be in the basement, you might go on the roof the next time. You don't know where you're going.
Exactly. Yes.
As far as work required, now I know you already mentioned this a little bit, but could you describe the amount and type of work you're doing to maintain this business currently?
So the biggest thing I do is I have this Amazon seller app on my iPhone. So I check my seller app to see how many sales I have, and you can do that as often as you like. It takes, seconds? Another thing, normally at the end of the day, I look at the listings and check my BSR rankings and check my PPC, which is Amazon sponsored ad campaigns, making sure that those are performing pretty well. And I would say the most time-consuming task, which is not daily, is if you want to research and add new products, communicating with the suppliers in China. With the time difference, most of the time we need to do that at night because of the time zone issues. So sometimes you might stay up a little late trying to, source a new product or establish communication with that new supplier.
That makes sense. Are all your products supplied from the same factory or the same supplier, or do you have several different suppliers?
Yeah, we have several different suppliers. Most of them are from China. There's one new product which is being sourced from Germany right now.
Very cool. Now, what skills or requirements would you suggest for someone to have if they're looking to buy this business but not necessarily familiar with the niche?
Really, I have very limited, maybe none, of marketing background. Pretty much the daily tasks that I mentioned don't require any prior experience, really. This business is already set up and going, so all they need to do is step in my shoes and pretty much do what I've been doing, or if they want to grow and scale it, just keep adding new products and research the market and stay on top of that.
Now, would you commit to a non-compete? So say a buyer comes in, you will sign the non-compete saying like, hey, look, I'm not going to go start another Amazon FBA business with the exact same product after you buy this from me?
Absolutely. That would be no problem.
And how much support would you be willing to offer a buyer?
As much as it takes to get them going and confident. I think I had mentioned 30-day support by email, phone call, Skype, whatever it takes. Pretty open to offering 100% support to get them, going with the business and comfortable with the tasks.
It's fantastic. Now, obviously, the best case scenario here for us, for you, for Empire Flippers, is someone comes in and buys it for full list price. But would you be open at all to a split or earn out where someone came and say, hey, here's 70% up front, and here I'll pay out 30% over the next couple of months or 30% on closing? Would you be at all open to something like that?
Possibly. I just would like to say that, we will consider all offers that are being presented.
Great. I only have one last question for you, Julia. But before I dive into the hot seat question here, let me go over the quick summary again for our listeners about this business. So for everyone out there, this business was built in November 2014, has a monthly revenue of $9,027, with expenses sitting at $5,349 and a net profit of $3,667, and that is over a 12-month average. What the sale includes the Amazon listings, the transfer of inventory, as well as the transfer of a Shopify store. So Julia, what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
So if you are working full-time or if you own several other businesses and you're looking for additional passive income, then this business is for you. It's pretty much self-run. It only takes 10 minutes a day, and it generates a healthy stream of income every month, as you can see from the P&L. I think it's a great business. It has great growth potential and scalability. If you're willing to put the extra few hours a day or extra few hours a week to take it to the next level, then this is for you.
Absolutely. For anyone out there watching this on YouTube, and if you want more information about this business, the link will be below the video and will take you to our marketplace listing. Now, if you're watching this on our actual listing and you want more information, you can become a depositor today. It's super easy. All you do is click the button, make a deposit, and we'll take you to the next step. So, Julia, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.